In this video, I want to bring you to a very special location, a place that's often overlooked even for people who live here. If you're thinking about moving to Fort Wayne or visiting Fort Wayne, you should continue to watch this video because I'm going to take you behind the scenes. You've probably already done some research, but what does it look like? When we moved here 6 years ago, I was mainly focused on schools, suburbs, and that's about it. The North Anthony corridor here in Fort Wayne is one of the most overlooked places in all of Northeast Indiana. In this video, I'm gonna go over the North Anthony corridor, things that people have overlooked, things that people don't know about. If you are not from Fort Wayne, you're thinking about visiting or you're thinking about moving, stay tuned to this video, especially if you're a younger millennial or older millennial. When we moved here right after we got married, if you're a young millennial couple like we were, we're still millennials, but we were younger millennials at the time, we didn't need a lot of space. We didn't need a lot of bedrooms, and we still like to go out more so than, let's just say, our parents or our grandparents. If you're a millennial, you may want to be closer to some of the nightlife and activities. And that's why I'm highlighting this neighborhood for younger millennials or older millennials like myself, and you're trying to decide if you should rent or buy. I'm going to show you a way that you can become a homeowner and a landlord all at the same time. So even if you move to Fort Wayne and move away, let's say in 6 months to a year, you won't have to worry about finding renters. The third thing about this area is the proximity to amenities and some nightlife. You have Concordia for junior high school and senior high school, but you also have Concordia Seminary. We're also near Purdue Fort Wayne, and I'm going to get back into Purdue Fort Wayne in a second and tell you why that's important for this area. Also, Johnny Appleseed Festival, the park is near here, and also Coliseum. They're all within walking distance, less than 5 minutes. Now, as a real estate agent, me and my wife, Francesca, we help people move to, from, and around Fort Wayne. But I can tell you, every family and every situation is different. In today's video, I'm gonna take off my realtor hat and just talk to you as a person. Fort Wayne is an older city. I'm pretty sure you've already done your research. So you have homes that were built 1950, 40, 30, 20, even 1910s. So you have older homes. If I could go back to when I first moved here, I was very afraid of an older house just because I didn't even know how long houses last. Never knew or lived in a place where homes lasted more than, I don't even know, maybe 30 or 40 years. Never really thought about it. But a lot of homes in this area have been rehabbed, remodeled, and been brought back to life. Although these homes are on the older side, there has been a big movement in the last 10 years in Fort Wayne to revitalize pretty much everything that's been old. You've probably found out in your research, we've done a video on that talking about the money that Fort Wayne has put into bringing back the downtown area, which has brought in investors. Those investors have started to buy these homes and started to improve them. You can tell pretty quickly that this home has been remodeled because most of the homes that were built back in the 40s and 50s have brown trim. They've come in and painted white. That's a dead giveaway. You can look at the gas stove. Gas stoves were not a thing back in 1950 and 1940.
The ceiling here in the kitchen, it's the tiles that look like an office. It's giving, oh, you're in an office space vibe, but what I really like they did is they went in and they did a texture on it. So you can kind of see, if you're looking at it, it's like a trowel kind of finish. They gave it some dimension, and then they painted it that sleek black color, so it just looks very clean instead of having that office feel to it. You've got tons of cabinets. You've got the open shelves here, which I think is a really nice touch. The cabinets, the countertops are just laminate, but they look really good. You've got this beautiful black sink here in the kitchen. They've redone the backsplash with the subway tiles all along the back. And they redid the flooring with some really nice LVP flooring here, which flows into some of the original hardwood floor, which honestly, this is probably some of the most beautiful original hardwood floors I've seen. They came in and it looks like they restained it. So they did a nice sanding and restained it, and they look stunning. I love them. But yeah, they just came in and modernized it, and they did a fantastic job. You've got the nice white with black shade. I mean, just very clean, modern feel to a older home.
If I had found homes like this, these homes have a lot of character. All of North Anthony, Francis Slocum, in this area where Concordia Private School is, this is all a part of the long history of Fort Wayne. I'll tell you a little history tidbit. The football stadium that Concordia Private School plays at is named after Fred Zollner. Fred Zollner used to own a company that made pistons for locomotive engines back in the 50s. That company had a company basketball team called the Zollner Pistons. Eventually they turned it into the Fort Wayne Pistons. That team became a professional basketball team, and it was the original Detroit Pistons. There was one or two seasons here in Fort Wayne before they moved to Detroit. A lot of people don't know that. That stadium is named after Fred Zollner. So actually, the basketball games that were played back then were played at Northside High School, which is also not that far from here. So there's a lot of rich history in this area. Let's talk about this specific location. Currently, I'm standing at Lakeside Park. Now, if you want to follow along with this video, you want to pull up a map. The area that I'm specifically talking about is what is called Northeast North Anthony. I don't know if that's the actual term of it, but that's what I describe it as. The 46805 zip code to be specific. And if you look at the east-west streets, you'll have State Street, then north of State. The biggest east-west street will be Vance Street. Currently, I'm standing south of State. So Lakeside Park is south of State Street. Lakeside Park is one of the historical, most famous parks in the area. We did a video about this maybe a year ago. If you're visiting Fort Wayne, you want to come over to this side of Anthony. On the east side of Anthony, starting pretty much north of State. Lakeside Park is close to that area, so my recommendation, taking off my realtor hat at this point and just talking to you as a person that is thinking about moving to another city that they never lived in, I would stay north of State, and even better, north of Vance. There are some streets and homes in between State and Vance, but north of Vance will get you closer to amenities such as close to Coliseum, which is where the Coliseum is, where the hockey team plays, and also Johnny Appleseed Park, Lions Park, and Purdue Fort Wayne. Now, I'm a real estate agent. Me and my wife, Francesca, we help people move to, from, and around Fort Wayne. I am not allowed to steer people to one place or the other. However, I do have opinions, I do have preferences, and also I move around. I moved to Northeast Indiana. Had I known more about the North Anthony corridor when I moved here, I would have definitely taken a second look. Currently, I'm standing in Lakeside Park. Now, this is south of the area that I'm talking about because Lakeside Park, this actual area, is in high demand, but it's hit or miss. So right behind me, in the middle of Lakeside Park, is Lakeside Addition or Lakeside Neighborhood. It's a historical neighborhood. Those houses are 500,000 and above. These are historical homes with character and architecture that you can't get anymore. So this is actually for high-end buyers. For that middle price point that a lot of people are looking for, that are middle class millennials, I'm gonna go hyper local and be hyper focused with the region I'm talking about specifically, by the road. So there's an east-west road, State. North of State is Vance. The streets that are horizontal in there, some of those streets are hit or miss. There are some good homes, there are some not so good homes. There are some houses that I would recommend, there are some I would not recommend. I would say if you're looking at homes there, feel free to reach out and we can give you our expert opinion on this. But north of Vance, but south of the loop of Coliseum, you're good to go. And then if you cross Coliseum, there's Glenwood Park. Number two, it's in close proximity to Purdue Fort Wayne. So investors are always clamoring to purchase those properties to turn them into rentals for college students, which is also a bonus for you if you ever move back to where you came from and you're thinking about turning your first or second home into a rental home. You can get higher rents because you can rent by the room because it's so close to the university. The North Anthony corridor is a place that even some locals have a misconception about. I was just off the phone with one of my friends, and people, a lot of times they associate the North Anthony corridor with downtown. Yes, it's closer to downtown, but technically this is the northern portion of downtown. This used to be the north side of town back in the 1950s. So this used to be the suburbs at the time. And there still isn't a lot of growth because we're limited on space. So this is really a hidden gem. Currently, I'm standing just off of the River Greenway at the Purdue Fort Wayne campus. So on the North Anthony corridor, there are a lot of greenways, walkways, paths, bike paths, places that you can walk. And then across from the St. Joe River, you have the Coliseum. Right now, it looks like they have a circus that will be in the parking lot where the hockey team plays. Johnny Appleseed Park, Concordia Private School. Also in the on North Anthony Boulevard are a lot of those cool coffee shops. At the beginning of this video, I spoke about younger millennials or older millennials, this being one of the places that could be lucrative to them, or even older Gen Z, simply because of the proximity to Coliseum, North Anthony Boulevard. And a couple of our videos in the past, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, we took you guys to Crown Coffee. There's also Firefly, which is one of those local popular places where you get just all sorts of cool coffee, because we believe in supporting local. Starbucks makes enough money. You know, we love to keep the dollars in the community. It's just something that we're a big fan of. Wooden Nickel is also on North Anthony Boulevard. There's a lot of culture and history in this area. As you can see, Purdue Fort Wayne campus is right behind us. Also, there's another place a lot of people don't know about is Concordia Seminary. Concordia Gardens is one of the areas where people do buy houses and then they stay there while they're in school. Some investors have purchased homes in that subdivision, and only students that attend Concordia Seminary rent there. They basically have renters back to back and they never miss a payment. That's the little secret. If you're a millennial, you're not so sure about moving here, you're coming here for a job, and you're thinking about renting or buying a house, well, you can buy a house, and if you decide to leave after a year or two, turn that house into a rental if it's in the North Anthony corridor. If this is your first time on this channel, my name is Noe Dowles. Me and my wife Francesca, we help people move to, from, and around Fort Wayne. We're making these videos to give you the behind the scenes of what it looks like here in Fort Wayne, because you already know the general information about the population size, the location, some of the amenities here, but how does that compare to where you currently stay? How does that compare to other places that you're considering to move? So we make videos to show you what it looks like, some of the neighborhoods, things to do, the amenities. If you're thinking about moving to Fort Wayne, feel free to reach out to us. We left our contact information below. We'd love to help. Now that you know the best hidden gem in Fort Wayne for millennials, check out my last video where I talk about the Allen County Fair, and I'll see you there.